Welcome to Champagne Sunday. I'm Lauren.
Hey, I'm Bonnie.
I'm Beth.
And we're going to talk about life
After divorce.
And living
The best life.
and the life you love.
Yes, living the life you love on that other side.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome. Hi, y'all.
Hello.
I'm trying a new greeting today.
Words. We said, hello. That wasn't even directed or scripted.
It wasn't.
We're changing things up. All right. So tonight we are going to talk about how do we recover a healthy body image when the marriage that we left behind left us sort of devastated and kind of traumatized.
Not so confident.
Kind of stripped us of our confidence with regard to our body image. How do we recover that healthy body image that we had before that relationship happened?
Boy, if we could bottle this and sell it. I think a lot of people, I think women struggle with the body image anyway because of our culture. But if you've been in a relationship where you have been made to feel that you weren't as pretty or weren't as thin or weren't as ideal, like, my ex had an affair, and of course, I was pregnant at 42. I gained the most weight with that baby. Also, so who does he sleep around with? The beauty contestant girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at him and I said, there's no competing with that. I mean, she was 10 years younger, plus, had lots of plastics. How do you even, I was walking around with baby's throw up and breastfeeding, and my body was, it was
from birth.
It was that squishy post-birth body.
My ex, when we were going through our divorce, and we were still living together at the time, we got into a fight one night, and he said, I hope that, because I had lost some weight at the time, because I've been a size 6, I've been a size 20. It just depends on what part of my life I'm in.
Right.
And usually I'm somewhere in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I hope this figure that you're working on works out for you, because we got married and you got fat. And I said, I had your baby. So
yeah.
Okay. And that it's hard not to take. And he definitely said some other things throughout our marriage. Every once in a while, it wasn't but that was the most he had never said fat to me before.
Yeah.
And that I was just telling them, I'm a pretty confident person. I don't dislike my body. I'm a fan of my body. I think it's a sexy body and that it has done some great things. You and I have talked about this before. But when somebody says that to you, that you're in an intimate relationship and that person is supposed to love you so much, it's really hard not to take that into other things. So now I'm in a new relationship and I do think about that, even though my partner now is I couldn't ever imagine him say that to me. But it's difficult to release the PTSD. It's a little bit of oh no, if I'm not skinny enough or attractive enough, this person won't love me, when really that's not true at all. If that person loves you, they're going to love you. It doesn't really matter.
My thing,
and also if that person loves you, they're going to help you. They're going to go, I see this happening.
Yeah.
Can we work on this? Or how can I help you?
Well,
that's productive in a relationship.
I think once that little, what would I call it? The little grain of sand, you've let yourself go.
Yeah.
You're gaining weight now, or you don't look like so-and-so, or whatever. That little grain of sand is like the grain of sand in your bathing suit. And it is going to rub and rub and rub until you're just even if you try to ignore it, it's there. It's in the back of your brain. I had a lot of body image problems.
And that right there, to me, I remember when one of the first comments my ex made to me, I'd had my second child, and I had postpartum, and I was really struggling. And he was like, this is not what I signed up for.
Oh,
and it's but that was almost one of the first, it's you against me. You know, it kind of put this huge divide between us where all of a sudden I didn't feel like he was on my team.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, wait, I didn't realize there were rules. I thought you just left me. And so that kind of, that put this invisible wall between us that we, you know, that if he never said anything else, he said a couple more things, but if he never said anything else to me ever again in our marriage, I remember that moment.
Well, and yeah, I would venture to say that women feel this much more frequently than men because men gain weight and we don't go, oh, you gained weight. Like not typically.
Yeah.
I don't remember even thinking that about my ex when I was with him. Or men lose their hair, you know. I don't but it's expected for women to like
always look good.
To look the same. No,
I don't even think it's the same. I think there's a standard out there for women. You're supposed to look like the Victoria's Secret model, and you're supposed to wear the clothes like that, and you're supposed to look like that. You know, good day, bad day, when you first get up after you've worked a 10-hour shift, you're supposed to look like that all the time.
Well, like the 1950s wives who would get up and put their makeup on and get back in the bed before their husband woke up. But I struggle with, and the body image thing. I have felt like at times I've struggled with, I don't feel like I should date until I'm X size. Like I feel like, and what happens with me is that if I am happy, I lose weight easier because I am a very emotional eater.
I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
And so what these guys are doing is perpetually putting you in a cycle of emotional turmoil where you eat more. It's not helping you in any way to say, hey, I noticed you gained 10 pounds or, you know.
Well, how is your image of your body on this side of divorce better? How is it more healthy? What are you doing to feed your mind to love yourself?
I try to remember, because the thing about me is I'll try to diet or I'll do, you know, I'll get on spurts of, you know, exercising here. And sometimes I really stick to it and it's great. But then I have an event or my life is like this. So I just try to remember I can meet myself where I am every day and get to somewhere else the next day. Like that's the key is like you can't beat yourself up about it. And I feel a lot better physically than I did when I was married, a whole lot better physically. And for my age, I'm a lot more capable than a lot of people my age that I know. Like I can do most things really well. So I kind of think of it in terms of what my body can do. But then I also have some goals about what I want my body to look like too.
We talked about that today.
But I let those be my goals. I don't really like, you know, I don't know. I don't really like, I try not to let anyone else's opinion about that affect what I want to do with my body, you know, anyway.
Well, we talked about that kind of pregame when we were walking about, you know, I'm not happy with my body right now. I'm the biggest I've ever been. I grew up, I was very athletic. I had the 6-pack abs, like I had guns, like I was very physically fit. The last pregnancy at 42, having a section, that's all gone. And it's a slow go at coming to terms with this body. However, I will say, I think we talked about it last time. For my age, I'm not on any medication.
Yeah.
I don't have any big illnesses. You know, there's nothing really wrong with me.
Yeah.
So it's a mental thing. And I think, you know, when you've been in a marriage situation or with a partner who is not supportive of your body image and helping you with it, but kind of tearing you down, it works on you. It really does.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself, look, you're a certain age, you're really, you know, I still do all my stunts, you know, and I was
I have my own stuff.
Yeah, I was the girl hanging from
we should get shirts that say that. That's
hanging from the big floral thing for prom.
Yeah.
You know, I still get up on ladders. I still paint.
Yeah, same.
I still fix things. Really, I don't have anything to complain about. I am more overweight than I have been. But I think because society as a whole kind of celebrates the super thin, super thin. Like y'all, I don't know. It's kind of unhealthy thin. Some people. But I swing on the other side of it as a nurse thinking, well, if I do get sick, I can live off my fat for a while. I won't die immediately.
Well, for me, I'm like, am I where I necessarily want to be? No. Have I been a lot worse? Yes. Do I feel like I look good? Sure. I look good. I don't think I look bad.
Well,
But I do have goals.
and I'm kind of there. I know I can lose weight. I know that I would be happier if I lost weight, not necessarily for any other reason that I could buy cuter clothes. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like a size or two
listen, the
smaller, the
clothing
clothes get
thing-
cuter.
The clothing thing is a bigger thing to me than anything.
Yeah,
It's like,
so it's not like I feel uncomfortable in
Yeah.
my body. I think I can rock the clothes that I own, and when don't feel like I'm in the size I want to be, I will invest in good shoes. So I've got some cute shoes and things. So all of that, to me, part of my motivation is I want to wear cuter clothing. But it's not that I hate my body. I'm very thankful
mhm.
for my body because I am healthy. I don't have any major health issues. I birthed 3 beautiful babies.
But
All of those
what
things.
sucks is that a man ever made any of us feel bad about our bodies, because I could tell you right now, I don't think I've ever made a man feel bad about his. Ever.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything I said. Yeah, maybe one. Maybe one time. Oh, Beth, you're pretty. Beth is guilty. Beth is guilty.
I have not ever said it to them, but boy, have I thought it. Like, why are you prancing around like a peacock?
At the very end of things,
Or-
I told my ex he was short.
He didn't know that? That was like a
No,
revelation.
I just said, well, you're short. Well, how do you come back from you're fat? I said, well,
And I can
I can lose weight. Unless you get some lifts, you're out of luck.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I think a lot of positive self-talk. When I try and look at my life and think, okay, what do I want to work on? Losing weight is not necessarily at the top. Working on my art is at the top. Spending time with my people and making sure I'm making time for that, that's at the top. Losing weight and being healthy is at the top. But although losing weight is a part of that, it is not what I'm most, if I look at my life, that's not what is absolutely most important to me. But if it would love for it, I am working on it. I would love for it to happen. But to me, I try and focus on those things. And I'm thankful that I can get out of bed and walk on my own 2 feet every day. And that, my body is working and is healthy. And
my bigger thing than being like super thin is like my mobility and ability, as long as I can have it. That's what I want. It's really good physical fitness. So
yeah, instead of losing weight, I should really be working on some like stretching and yoga and all of those things.
Yoga,
to make
listen,
sure that
as we age, yoga's one of the better things that you can do, because balance, like falling, is a big deal as we get older.
Right.
So the more you can balance,
be working.
That's why I like
So-
taking that ballet class, because you're
Oh, yeah.
strengthening and lengthening when you're doing all those fine.
That's why I feel off if I'm not if I didn't teach dance in the fall, and it was the first time I haven't taught dance in a semester in 15 years, and I felt wonky. I was like, it's just so strange not to be like stretching and doing these
because
things
you had not moved your body in those ways.
in those ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to be more healthy, but as I get healthy, I do get skinny. But I would like to say that there is a psychological kind of component to this too. If you feel bad about yourself, you're less likely to exercise. But
It's true.
exercise is the best thing you can do because it releases the endorphins.
Then
And
you
you
feel
feel
amazing.
better
Yeah.
about everything.
And you want to eat better when you're exercising because it just makes you feel better. Well, and I think that I think we also have to mention this.
Or at least my energy level goes, if I'm consistently like, if I walk 3 miles a day, or it's 3 is the like happy number, but if I walk 3 miles a day, my energy level is like through the roof, and my energy level is already high. But I like, pew.
Yeah.
Well, how much
feel like
did
that
your
too.
body image improve when on the other side of divorce? Just almost immediately.
Well,
And
I did because I didn't have that little voice
Right.
chipping at me every day.
And I don't know that mine necessarily improved in a way that I necessarily noticed, except for that I was no longer conscious that someone was possibly looking at me in this way. I was no longer trying to
that's a big
hide and feeling guilty that I wasn't working
Yeah.
towards something that was somebody else's goal for me.
Yeah. Well, and then on the other side of divorce, other people finding you attractive,
Yes.
like, remind you that you're attractive.
Yeah,
But
It does.
okay, did anybody's ex tell them no one will want to date you? Because mine did.
Yes.
No.
Mine told me when I lost weight when we had filed for divorce before
He
we were
said that
divorced.
to you, that
Mine-
no one wants to date you.
I lost weight and he told me that it was great that I had finally lost weight, but I was too old to find anybody at this point. So good
hey.
luck.
After the mediation, when I walked in the mediation, he goes, "Now you lost weight."
Oh my God.
Oh, I could tell you a lot of body things.
Yeah. So just cutting off that cancer.
Yeah, cutting off that negative.
But like,
Yeah.
let's just stay out loud. That's not an okay way for someone to speak to you.
Mm.
It just isn't. If anybody is saying those things to you, you are in a toxic relationship, audience, and you need to address that because those are not healthy things. Like somebody telling you as an adult human, giving you criticism about what you need to do, especially when it's your body or your job, or that's not healthy if you're happy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, if you're not happy in a healthy relationship, you work toward, you help that person. Like, or you say, are you okay? What can I do? Like, you know,
Right, but you don't come at them with a negative
No.
in a hurtful way.
not in like a, you're not living up to this standard, because then what that makes that person do is doubly not live up to that standard because they're too scared of it.
Or you could be like me when my ex said, "But my girlfriend does this." That made my Scottish Irish blood go.
Well, then
In
I'm
that
doing the
case,
opposite.
I'm going to be the
Opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to do this then. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I also think that for every negative comment you hear, you have to have 10 positive things said to you to overcome it. So if you, on the other side of divorce, we are our own cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, and I know that it sounds silly, but if you look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful every single morning, at some point you will accidentally start believing it because you'll be retraining your brain
Mm-hmm.
that you are beautiful, and you'll start, chipping away at that negative that had been.
So that's my new exercise.
That's your new exercise every single morning. Every morning. So
I used to do stuff like that when I'd break up with a boyfriend in college. I would put little marks on my mirror like, he did this. Remember when he said that? Remember? So I would read it all the time and go, oh, yeah. Oh.
well, I still have a note in my wallet, and I haven't had to look at it in months about the last relationship I was in with all of the things that were huge red flags that I chose to look away from. All of the things that were not nice that he said to me, all of those things, I have them listed, and I haven't had to look at it in a long time. But every once in a while I would have to pull it out and go, oh, that's right.
Well, that kind of is what we talked about today too. I have 2 boys, I'll call them boys, that I was disappointed in how things worked out. But it's funny because each one of them, before the last time I saw them, did this little prayer like, show me if this is the right guy for me, or let me see something that just completely tells me no. That makes this easier. Both instances, it was like an answer prayer. I'm not kidding you. It was a God thing. And like one of them, just in the middle of this dinner, blurted out a sentence that I was like, my head spun around like, did he just say that? And every time I am curious about those 2 or look at their picture or whatever, that I'm like reminded, oh yeah, I asked for help. I got help. Now close the door.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because you get those little recurring things in your head, but you can retrain your
Yeah, you retrain it. So when they come up, when that voice in your head pops back up and says, you're fat, no one will want you, or this is not what I signed up for. You're not worth me anymore, is what that sounded like to me. Is I can look in the mirror, I can think in my head, nope, I am beautiful. My body is fabulous. Yeah. It serves me well. And this is, what is it that we've talked about before, is that someone is competing with me.
Right.
If the person that wants to date me is going to have to treat me so well that they're treating me better than I treat myself, which is pretty high standard. So they're going to have to come at me with more than just, they're really going to have to offer me something. And so if I believe that I am beautiful and that I am taking care of myself and I am doing those things, then they're going to have to believe that and more.
And then the other thing, and I said this sort of already, but nobody gets to tell us about us.
No.
And nobody gets to tell us what to do. And that's just
or how to think
true, or how to think about ourselves, or how to spend our time. Like that is not something that anybody has a right to do but you.
Yes.
I think life is hard enough, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, life is hard enough for women because there's so much print ad out there. There's so many visual advertising or just like movies and TV shows that say this is the ideal woman. And if you look around, hardly anybody makes that mark.
Yeah.
I mean, hardly anybody.
Not in real life.
No.
Maybe in Hollywood and goodness.
You can have the chef and a trainer. And
but how can you be a foodie at that size? How can you eat the really fabulous
you aren't.
food?
No, that's my favorite part of Notting Hill. When she goes to the table and they're trying to win the last brownie and they have to tell a sad story. And she said, I haven't eaten a whole meal in 20 years. And they're like, oh, no, try again, gorgeous. But she said she didn't eat, so that she could be that way. But, I am a foodie. I like food.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for me to even diet. That's why I have to walk every day because I have to do something to make up for that. And then I think, the other rational side of my brain says life is too short to be on a diet all the time. Life is too short to try to get back into my size 4 pants, that I did before I had the second child late in life. I mean,
but it is also too short to eat the cake for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because that'll hurt you in other ways.
It depends on what you're talking
because I could totally do that. I could totally allow myself to eat everything. I really think it's that moderation and temperance. And if you're truly loving your body, you're not abusing it with food either.
That's true.
That's true.
I think you just have to decide what your priorities are and what you want to be like, or where you feel good. Like,
yes.
Right now I'm looking at my goals, not at anybody else's, because like I was telling my boyfriend today, I was like, well, one of my friends took a Mounjaro shot and they lost 10 pounds since before. And he said, well, do you want to do that? And I said, I don't know, maybe. And he was like, well, it's your body. And you do what you want to do. And I was like, is that nice?
That's fabulous.
So I know.
That's gold.
It is really
That's
supportive.
nice. Yeah. But we go back to your relationship with your partner is very much like best friends.
Yeah.
And that is what you would prefer it to be, is you're in charge of you, I am in charge of me, and we love cohabitating our in chargesness together.
Yes.
Next to each other.
No, it's game change. I mean, like, it's very different from that is different from what I've ever had before. But anyway.
So, well, and I think that, when you have someone supportive, it's easier to have a good body image of yourself.
Yeah.
It's easier to think of yourself in a more positive way.
Yeah.
Well, because you're getting that positive feedback.
Well, and I am so much more than my body.
Yeah.
I want the person in love with me to be in love with my soul, my spirit, who I am. I'd like for them to find me attractive, of course, but I want that to be the least of what makes them love me. Does that make sense? So, anyway, goals. I love the inside of me.
I may have to write down, you're a sexy beast on my mirror every morning. So I'll start.
You start doing. You know what? You know how I'll know when that starts. You know how I'll know when that starts working out for you is when you dance to my house to go walking every single time I see you.
I do, but
sometimes you do. All right. Well, ladies, I think everyone is beautiful. Everyone has a beautiful. It's beautiful, whoever they are,
in their own
way. So,
what was that?
See, I'm just thinking peace, love, and happiness now because we're reading that book.
That was in the 70s. Y'all are
70s.
Y'all are too young for that song.
And my
She
mom
is
did
too
a song
young.
of it. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. Is that a real song?
That's a real song.
I didn't just make that up.
Big 70s. Who was it? It's not Tom Jones. It's somebody else.
I have no idea.
Because Tom Jones, my favorite one is
Did that call it Sesame
Sex
Street?
Bomb. No,
sure.
no.
It may have.
Sounds like a Sesame Street.
It's not Sesame Street.
Hey,
They
so it
might
could have
be
been on
still
Sesame Street.
They might
It sounds like you can make your own kind of music.
It's that same period. It's like 1977.
Is it like
Maybe.
Burt Bacharach?
Maybe.
Ray Stevens.
There
Ray
you
Stevens.
go.
There
Well-
you go. And that is in 2020. It was the 50th anniversary of that song.
There you go.
I'm gonna wrap it back up to say, don't let anybody tell you about you. You know about you. Nobody else gets to tell you about you. That's what
And if
that's
you
what
don't,
it is
yes.
to me.
And if you don't feel good about yourself right now, then talk
That's
to
okay.
yourself as if you
Talk
were
to
the
yourself.
woman you want to be.
Like lean into
yes,
it. But
and
you're
tell
in charge
yourself
of
you are beautiful.
And nobody gets to tell you anything about you. Nobody gets to tell you what you think. Nobody gets to tell you what to do. Nobody gets to tell you that your body is not what you want your body to be, because you get to decide that, ladies. And
Because who are you in charge of?
yourself.
You're in charge of me. Yep. Love that. It's a great kindergarten lesson. Our teacher selves are popping out. All right. Shall we clink? Oh, wait. Should we say, wait, what are you doing this week?
I'm turning in grades by tomorrow morning,
Is
and
that
then
joyful?
I'm done for the semester.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's joy.
My semester is over. I just have graduation, and then I have to get a colonoscopy next week, which is not fun, but I'm getting over with.
Yeah.
Well,
That will make me
That's
happy.
healthy. That's
Way to
taking
take care of your
yourself.
health.
Yes, I have to.
That's
for
great.
that, so,
That's
yes.
good. That's good. Well, I'm doing all teenager stuff, Dragon Boat.
Oh, yeah. We have Daikin is here, and they do a big Japanese festival, Dragon Boat Festival out on our river. It's great.
Well, it's a fundraiser for Decatur. I mean,
Yes.
Decatur Morgan. Sorry, I call it that. But anyway,
Hunts.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of activity, and so that's what I'm doing. What are you doing, Bobby?
Well, my daughter's home.
Yay!
I'm so excited. So the best thing that's going to happen this week is my middle kid's, gosh, I think he's 24. His 24th birthday is Thursday. And my oldest is also happens to be coming home for some concert on Wednesday. So I'm going to have all three of my children
Oh,
home
fun.
for his birthday. And so I'm like,
That'll be fun.
wow, I get everybody together in my house. I love it when that
Okay.
happens. It's so rare. So I'm very excited about celebrating the 24th. He was the best baby ever. He totally buttered me up to have my daughter, who was not a good baby. So, but I love it. Anyway, I'm just so grateful. Because birthdays belong to moms too.
Mhm.
Yes,
We
they
did the
do.
birthing part.
You did the awful part.
We got him here.
That Mother's Day is Sunday.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true. Yes, it is. And
And
I will
I'll-
only have my daughter here for Mother's Day.
This is so funny. My mom lives next door to me, and they travel a lot, so they're not always home, but we've had a lot going on. And I saw her across the fence the other day and said, "Hey, do you want to do anything for Mother's Day?" And she was like, "No." We just had so much going on. And I said, "I hear you. Do you want to go to my son's dance recital with me?" And she said, "Sure, baby."
You do such a good impression of your mama.
Sure.
Well, my mom and dad are gone traveling, so they won't be home for Mother's Day. It'll just be me and my daughter.
It was just so funny that she was like,
Yeah.
"Please no. Please no, nothing big for Mother's Day."
Oh, that is.
Sometimes, but like it goes back to what we talked about too, is that like you get to decide you. Like everybody else doesn't get to decide you. And we function too much in that in our society where other people's decisions weigh heavily on
Well, and
the
their
decisions that we make.
Yeah,
Their opinions.
But I think we have so much more control than I think we
But
necessarily feel
and
like
even-
about what we think.
Even family, you do not
Yeah.
have to do what they want you to do either.
Mm.
And it took me a very long time to say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But it again, you have to recognize what is positive for you.
So we need
All the time.
everybody to do something this week to make them feel better about their body image.
And they need
Yeah.
to tell themselves they're beautiful
Yeah.
Exactly.
every morning.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have a great week, ladies.
Cheers.
Yes. My beautiful friends, have a wonderful week.
Thank y'all for joining us for Champagne Sunday.
See you next week,
See you
girls.
next week. Yeah, cheers.
Have a good week.
Cheers.
Cheers.